I never thought helping my best friend move would destroy everything I knew about myself. One look at Diana, her stepmother, and the carefully constructed walls I'd built around my sexuality came crashing down. She was 43, confident, and devastatingly beautiful. I was 26 and engaged to a man I'd been with for 4 years. What happened that summer wasn't supposed to happen, but when she cornered me in the wine cellar and whispered, "I know what you're hiding, and I want it too," I realized I'd been waiting my entire life for someone to see through me. This is the story of how I lost everything to find myself. The bottle slipped from my hands before I could catch it. Red wine exploded across the concrete floor of Diana's wine cellar, splashing up my bare legs like evidence of a crime I hadn't yet committed. "Shit," I muttered, crouching down to pick up the glass shards. "Leave it." Her voice came from the doorway, low, amused, dangerous. I looked up. Diana stood silhouetted against the afternoon light filtering down the stairs, her linen dress clinging to curves that had no business looking that good on someone's mother. Stepmother, I corrected myself, as if the distinction mattered. "I'm so sorry, I'll clean this up and replace—" Maya. She descended the stairs slowly, deliberately. I said, "Leave it." Something in her tone made my throat go dry. This was Jenna's stepmother, my best friend since college, the woman who'd raised Jenna through her awkward teenage years after marrying her father. I should have felt nothing but respectful distance. Instead, I felt my pulse hammering in places I'd been trying to ignore for years. "You're different than the other girls Jenna brings around," Diana said, crouching beside me. She was close enough that I could smell her perfume, something expensive and subtly intoxicating. "You watch me when you think no one's looking." My face burned. "I don't lie." Her fingers brushed mine as she picked up a piece of broken glass. "I've been watching you, too." The air left my lungs. This couldn't be happening. I was engaged. Michael was upstairs right now, probably helping Jenna's father arrange furniture. Michael, who I'd been with since senior year. Michael, who I'd convinced myself I loved because loving him was easier than admitting the truth. "I'm getting married in 3 months," I said, but my voice shook. Diana smiled, the kind of smile that suggested she knew exactly how hollow those words sounded. "Are you trying to convince me or yourself?" She stood, extending her hand to help me up. I should have refused, should have walked back upstairs and pretended this conversation never happened. Instead, I took her hand, and the moment our skin connected, something shifted irreversibly. "Jenna talks about you constantly," Diana said, not letting go. Her brilliant, accomplished best friend, the one who always has it together, the one who never makes mistakes. "I don't make mistakes," I whispered. "No." Her thumb traced circles on my palm. "You make safe choices. There's a difference." Footsteps echoed from upstairs, Jenna calling my name. Diana released my hand, but her eyes held mine for one more dangerous moment. "The wine cellar is always unlocked," she said quietly, "in case you ever want to stop playing it safe." Then she was gone, ascending the stairs like nothing had happened, leaving me alone with broken glass and the ruins of my carefully constructed denial. I spent the rest of the afternoon pretending everything was normal, laughing at Jenna's jokes, letting Michael kiss my temple, ignoring the way my hands trembled every time Diana entered the room. But that night, lying in the guest room with Michael snoring beside me, I couldn't stop thinking about the wine cellar, about her words, about the invitation hanging in the air like forbidden fruit. I'd spent 26 years being the good girl, the straight-A student, the dependable friend, the woman who checked all the boxes and colored inside all the lines. Diana saw through every single one of those lies. And the terrifying part, I wanted her to. The next morning, I woke up to Michael's alarm at 6. He kissed my forehead before heading out for his morning run. The same routine he'd followed for 4 years. Predictable, safe, everything I'd thought I wanted. I lay in bed listening to his footsteps fade down the hallway, then reached for my phone. 3 texts from Jenna, brunch plans, a meme about moving day exhaustion, and a photo of her stepmother's cat. In the background of that last photo, barely visible, was Diana at the kitchen counter in a silk robe. I stared at that image longer than I should have. Get it together, I whispered to myself. Downstairs, the kitchen smelled like fresh coffee and something baking. Diana stood at the stove, her back to me, dark hair piled loosely on her head. She wore yoga pants and a fitted tank top that showed off arms that definitely saw the inside of a gym regularly. "Morning," I said, keeping my voice neutral. She turned, and for one unguarded second, I saw something raw in her expression before she smoothed it into a polite smile. "Coffee?" "Please." We moved around each other carefully, like dancers who knew the choreography but were pretending not to. She poured my coffee exactly how I liked it. 2 sugars, splash of cream. I hadn't told her my preference. "Jenna mentioned it," Diana said, reading my mind. "She talks about you more than you realize." Guilt twisted in my stomach. Jenna, my best friend who trusted me completely, who'd invited me into her family's home without hesitation. "She's lucky to have you as a stepmother," I said, meaning it. Diana's laugh was bitter. "Is she? I'm not sure she'd agree right now. Teenagers don't particularly appreciate stepmothers who enforce curfews." "Jenna's 25. Old habits." Diana leaned against the counter, studying me over her coffee mug. "You're good at deflecting, Maya, changing the subject when things get uncomfortable." "I'm not." "You are." She set down her mug. "Yesterday in the wine cellar, you felt it too. Don't insult both of us by pretending otherwise." My heart hammered. This can't happen. "Why not?" "Because," I gestured helplessly, "because of everything. Michael, Jenna, your marriage, the fact that I'm not." "Not what, gay?" Diana's smile was sad. "Sweetheart, I've known women like you my entire life. Women who convinced themselves they were straight because it was easier than fighting. I was one of them for 20 years. The confession hung between us like a grenade. "You're married," I said weakly, "to a man who's been having an affair with his secretary for 3 years. Diana's voice was matter-of-fact. "We have an understanding. We stay married for tax purposes and social convenience. We stopped being intimate long before you showed up." I should have left, should have walked out of that kitchen and never looked back. Instead, I asked, "Why are you telling me this?" "Because I'm 43 years old, and I'm tired of pretending." She moved closer. "Because I see you drowning in the same lies I told myself at your age. And because when you looked at me yesterday, I felt something I haven't felt in years." "I'm engaged," I said, but it sounded like a question. "Do you love him?" The honest answer would have destroyed me, so I gave the safe one. "Yes." Diana studied my face for a long moment, then nodded. "Okay, then I'll leave you alone." "But Maya?" She touched my chin gently, tilting my face up to meet her eyes. "When you're ready to stop lying to yourself, I'll still be here." She left me alone in the kitchen, heart racing, coffee growing cold. That afternoon, Michael proposed we leave early. Some work emergency. I should have been relieved. Instead, I felt panic clawing up my throat. "Actually," I heard myself say, "I was thinking of staying a few more days. Help Jenna finish unpacking." Michael frowned. "I thought you had that client meeting Wednesday." "Rescheduled." The lie came easily. Too easily. He kissed me goodbye in the driveway while Jenna and Diana waved from the porch. I watched his car disappear down the tree-lined street and felt nothing but relief. "This is going to be fun!" Jenna squeezed my shoulders. "Just like college. Late nights, wine, terrible movies." Over her shoulder, Diana's eyes met mine. The look she gave me was equal parts warning and promise. I'd just made the most dangerous decision of my life, and we both knew it. Jenna left for a date around 8 o'clock, leaving me alone in the house with Diana. I tried to focus on the book I'd brought, but the words blurred together meaninglessly. Diana appeared in the doorway of the living room around 9, 2 glasses of wine in her hands. Peace offering. I'm sorry if I made you uncomfortable earlier. I accepted the glass. You didn't. That's the problem. She sat beside me on the couch, not too close, but close enough that I could feel the heat radiating from her body. Tell me about him, Michael. Why? Because I want to understand what you're giving up. I took a long drink of wine. He's good, stable. He works in finance, wants 2 kids and a house in the suburbs. He's never raised his voice at me. He remembers anniversaries. He's everything I'm supposed to want. But he doesn't make me feel alive. The confession escaped before I could stop it. I've been with him for 4 years, and I feel like I'm sleepwalking, like I'm watching my life happen to someone else. Diana's hand found mine. When did you know? That I was attracted to women? I laughed bitterly. College, maybe high school. I got really good at ignoring it, rationalizing, telling myself everyone had crushes on their female friends sometimes. And now? Now I'm 26 and engaged to a man I don't love, and my best friend's stepmother is the first person who's ever made me want to be brave. The words hung in the air between us. Diana set down her wine glass and turned to face me fully. I'm going to kiss you now, she said quietly, and if you want me to stop, just say so. My breath caught. This was the moment, the point of no return. I could stop this, could go back to my safe, comfortable life of pretending. Instead, I whispered, "Don't stop." Her lips were soft and sure, nothing like kissing Michael. She kissed like she knew exactly what she wanted, and what she wanted was me. Her hands cupped my face, thumbs stroking my cheekbones as she deepened the kiss. I'd never felt anything like this electricity, this rightness, like puzzle pieces finally clicking into place. When we broke apart, I was crying. I don't know how to do this. Neither do I, Diana admitted. But we'll figure it out together. Jenna will be devastated, I know. Diana's voice was pained. I've thought about nothing else since yesterday. But Maya, I can't watch you marry someone you don't love. I can't let you make the same mistakes I did. What do I do? You tell Michael the truth. You break off the engagement, and then we see what this is. And if Jenna never forgives me? Diana's silence was answer enough. We spent the next hour talking. Diana told me about her own journey, marrying young to please her parents, having a child she loved but never feeling complete, the slow realization that she'd been living someone else's life, the affair with a woman colleague that opened her eyes, the arrangement with her husband. I told her about the panic attacks before my engagement party, the way I'd cried after Michael proposed and convinced myself it was happy tears, the dreams I'd been having about women for years. I'm terrified, I admitted as we sat curled together on the couch, her fingers tracing patterns on my arm. Good, Diana said. That means it matters. Around midnight, we heard Jenna's car in the driveway. We separated quickly, Diana moving to the armchair, me pretending to be engrossed in my book. Jenna bounced in, cheeks flushed with wine and excitement. You guys are still up! Perfect! Want to hear about my terrible date? I smiled and listened to my best friend's story, all while feeling Diana's eyes on me across the room. I'd crossed a line I could never uncross. And the terrifying part? I didn't want to go back. I called Michael the next morning from Diana's garden. My hands shook so badly I could barely hold the phone. I can't marry you, I said when he answered. Silence. Then, what? I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, but I can't do this anymore. Maya, where is this coming from? Is this about the guest list? It's not about the wedding, it's about me. I took a shaky breath. I'm gay, Michael, or bisexual. I don't know, but I know I don't love you the way you deserve. More silence. When he spoke again, his voice was cold. There's someone else. Yes. Jesus Christ, Maya, who? It doesn't matter. Like hell it doesn't. Is it someone I know? Michael. 4 years. 4 fucking years, and you couldn't figure this out before I bought a ring? He wasn't wrong. I'm sorry. Sorry doesn't give me back 4 years of my life. His voice cracked. I loved you. I know. And you deserve someone who loves you back the same way. He hung up without another word. I sat in the garden for an hour, crying and shaking, while Diana held me and stroked my hair. You did the right thing, she whispered. Then why does it feel so awful? Because you're a good person, and good people feel guilty when they hurt others, even when it's necessary. The next call was harder. My mother's voice turned icy when I told her the engagement was off. What do you mean you're gay? Maya, you've been with Michael for 4 years. I know, Mom. This is insane. Where is this coming from? Is someone influencing you? I looked at Diana, who was giving me space but stayed close enough to offer support. No one's influencing me. This is who I've always been. I just finally stopped lying about it. I don't understand. We have deposits. Invitations went out. What am I supposed to tell people? Tell them the truth. Tell them I couldn't go through with marrying someone I didn't love. This is so selfish, Maya, so incredibly selfish. The line went dead. I stared at my phone, numb. She'll come around, Diana said, but we both knew it might not be true. I'd lost my fiancé and potentially my mother in the span of 2 hours. There was still one more call to make, but when I opened my mouth to tell Diana I needed to tell Jenna, the front door burst open. Maya! Jenna's voice was shrill with panic. Michael just called me. He said you broke off the engagement. He said. She stopped when she saw us sitting together on the garden bench, Diana's hand on my shoulder. I watched her face change as she connected the dots. No, Jenna said. No. Tell me this isn't what it looks like. Jenna. I stood up. My stepmother? My fucking stepmother? Her voice rose to a shout. How long? 3 days, Diana said quietly. Nothing happened until after Maya ended things with Michael. Nothing happened, Jenna laughed hysterically. You expect me to believe that? Jesus, Maya. Of all the women in the world, you had to fuck my stepmother? We haven't. I don't care. Jenna's eyes filled with tears. You're supposed to be my best friend. You know how hard it was when Dad married her, how weird everything got. And now you're sleeping with her? I'm falling in love with her, I said, and the truth of it hit me like a freight train. Jenna stepped back like I'd slapped her. Get out. Jenna, please, get out of my house, both of you. I never want to see either of you again. Diana stood. Sweetheart, I know this is shocking, but if you just let us explain. You don't get to call me sweetheart anymore. Jenna's voice was ice. You're not my mother. You never were, and now you're not anything to me. She walked back into the house, leaving us standing in the wreckage of everything we'd destroyed. Diana drove us to a hotel in silence. We checked into a room with 2 double beds, but ended up sitting on one together, holding each other while I cried. I've lost everything, I whispered. You've lost your old life, Diana corrected gently. The life that was never really yours. What if Jenna never forgives us? Then we live with that. But Maya, you can't light yourself on fire to keep other people warm. Not anymore. That night, for the first time in my life, I fell asleep in a woman's arms and felt like I was finally home. Even if home meant losing everyone I'd thought I couldn't live without. 6 months later, Jenna still won't return my calls. My mother sends polite text messages on holidays but declines invitations to visit. Michael got engaged to someone else, a woman who probably loves him the way he deserves. Diana and I have our own apartment now. Some mornings I wake up and can't believe this is my life. A life where I get to be honest, where I get to love openly, where I'm finally the person I always should have been. It's not perfect. There are days when I miss Jenna so much it physically hurts. Days when I wonder if I'm selfish for choosing my happiness over maintaining relationships built on lies. But then Diana brings me coffee in bed and kisses my forehead, and I remember this is what it feels like to be alive. I crossed the line. She made the first move, and I'd do it all again. Have you ever had to choose between your happiness and other people's expectations? What would you have done in Maya's situation? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one. Part 2 coming soon if you want to see what happens when Jenna finally calls Maya back.